Here's the mission. We're going to drop you and this scooter by parachute behind enemy lines. Your job is to take out as many enemy tanks as you can with the bazooka we mounted on it. Just make sure you don't miss your first shot. Remember, you'll be on a scooter, not a tank, and it only goes up to 41 miles per hour because of the extra weight. Any questions? I'll take that as a no. Sounds like something out of a movie, but this scooter was actually developed by France in the 1950s for use by paratroopers. They were looking for a replacement for the American Cushman scooter, which had been used by paratroopers during World War II. The competition came down to these three contenders, but in the end, the Vespa 150 TAP came out on top. It eventually became known as the Bazooka Vespa. Tell me it doesn't look just like this German rocket launcher on wheels. Actually, it wasn't a bazooka. It was the 75mm M20, a recoilless rifle made in the United States. A bazooka fires a rocket, while the M20 was essentially a lightweight, portable artillery piece. Using a heat projectile, it could penetrate up to 100mm of armor at a range of up to 7,000 yards. The weapon is designed so that when the propellant charge ignites, the gases produced by the burning propellant are vented out the back through openings in the shell casing, effectively eliminating recoil. This was important because it removed the need for a mechanical recoil system or a heavy mounting setup, allowing it to be transported on the scooter. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't designed to be fired from the scooter itself. It had no aiming mechanism and no way to access the firing device while mounted. It had to be dismounted and set up on a tripod before it could be used. The scooters were strapped to pallets for airdrop deployment, and to soften the impact upon landing with parachutes, they were cushioned with bales of hay. They were dropped in pairs. One carried the M20 recoilless rifle and 6 rounds of ammunition, while the other carried the tripod and 10 additional rounds, just in case the scooter was still around after the first shots were fired. The scooters could be deployed with an optional micro-trailer that carried extra supplies, including fuel and ammunition. The frame was reinforced with a metal tube that wrapped around the scooter, protecting it from impact and supporting the side-mounted ammunition racks. Vespa is an Italian scooter brand, but at the time, it had been licensed to a French company which developed this bazooka version. Around 600 units were produced between 1956 and 1959. It cost only $500 at the time, a relatively low price. The M20 would have cost even more than the scooter itself, if not for the large surplus left over after World War II. However, despite being an anti-tank weapon, the M20 couldn't penetrate modern tanks like the Soviet T-34. Still, the Vespa proved highly effective in the Algerian War, where the enemy didn't have T-34s. In addition to being effective against lightly armored vehicles, it was also very useful for taking out fortifications. The paratroopers were quite fond of them. They were reliable and easy to repair, and since many of the newer battles were being fought in urban environments, their high mobility proved to be a crucial advantage. But despite its success, the Vespa 150 TAP didn't last long. More powerful tanks emerged, and effective anti-tank weapons became a bit too large to mount on a Vespa.